All right, hello everyone. We are back, hole number 3 here. I do believe now we're going to be at the par 3. Hopefully. I think I had a little mix-up on my last hole, and I'm going to reset my bag a little bit here, take off that backspin club, because I know I'm not going to have a long iron for this hole. I am going to, go with a pretty good power ball on this hole, and also kind of try to keep wind to a minimal a little bit. So, and I don't use much side spin on this hole, so I'm not really, feeling like I need a Kingmaker. Of course, it's, fine to use, and plus, I have so many of them, but well, let's just go with it. I don't want to do something that's too, people could be short of those balls, even though if you look at the stats of the two, they're not really that different. Same power, just a little bit extra wind resistance. Since I'm not going to be using side spin anyway, using a ball with one side spin, in my opinion, is a smart move on a par 3 if you're not going to be using it. So, it's kind of a perfect opportunity to use that ball. You're never going to need to use like a bunny ball for a drive where you're going to be curling it. So it's more optimal for par 3s. So that's one of the biggest reasons that I would encourage picking those up when you see those offers, because they're few and far in between. So it's the same stats as a mummy ball, and that came out on Halloween. So considering that they haven't put out a similar ball in 7 months, 6 months, it's quite a long time to wait for the ball of your choosing to come up. What you're looking at with the difference between a Kingmaker and a bunny ball is probably about 1 to 2 miles per hour extra, which in terms of this hole is going to be about maybe a ring or two. So let's talk a little bit about strategy on this hole. I usually play, I believe, 20% extra from max distance from the second tee box. So being that we're going to be at the third tee box now, I'm going to need to play at least 30% extra wind, I would imagine. It's just kind of a, if I play off of max distance usually, and I'm only at, mid to quarter club, or, mid to half club, like halfway to 3/4 club, I know that I'm probably going to be pushing max here this time around. Let's see what the wind is. Okay, it's into the face. I am a little worried that you may need driver. Let's see what happens here. You see if this guy pulls this back some so I can see. That's it. Yep, it looks like you can put Guardian on a lot of the fairway here. But like I said, you're going to need to probably play at least 30% extra, which would mean, I might need to play a 14 wind here instead of a 10.5. So keep that in mind when you're doing your adjustment. And let me just see how this sets up. One of the other reasons that you might want to put on a higher wind resistance ball is it might keep you in 3-wood easy. Now we are seeing that guy did stay in 3-wood range, so that is a good sign to start off. And we're not going to use side spin. I usually use right around 7 when we're into the wind. I might bump it up to 8. It looks like I'll probably have enough. So notice I'm definitely starting long and left, because the wind's going to kind of counter that. And like I said, I'm going to play more of a 14 wind. So you might see me go at least, 13 rings here. Let's hope that, that doesn't cause a problem and I don't go up a club. So you kind of get a sense at what I'm doing here. This might be a tiny overplay. No, it looks pretty good. So you can see we're really going to be forcing max there to do it that way. I do feel that I was very close to getting to rocket, So, that extra wind resistance of the bunny ball is going to be favorable. If you can keep yourself to 11 miles per hour or lower, which you can do guaranteed with a bunny, where you can't with a... just going to go ahead and forfeit this one out. So you can't guarantee with a Kingmaker that you're going to be, I think the best win that I've seen is maybe a 19.0, which is 12.3 or 12 point something, probably 12.3, sounds about right, which is about as high as you can get in Masters. So you could see I was only at 10 something, so having to play 3 or 4 more rings there might be difficult. So it will be ideal unless you potentially want to go into a little bit of power or take off even more backspin. That's one thing you could do as well. 7 backspin there wasn't the, all to end, all there. You saw we were close to max distance. It didn't really get a lot of runouts, which is usually what I like to do. I usually try to side door that one, actually. Bring it in more to where it doesn't roll back, it doesn't roll forward, and it'll just kind of, scoot and take the break a little bit. That's kind of what I try to do on that hole, typically. Worst case scenario, the way I just played it is going to get you close. One of the things I can suggest, which we might try tomorrow, I might back off a half bar, maybe do 6.5 backspin. I'll probably go at it with a bunny tomorrow just so you can see the differences. But again, it's all going to be dependent upon the wind you draw, because you can draw anywhere between a 15 mile per hour, which would push you under 10 miles per hour with a Kingmaker, or you could see as high as a 19, which, like I mentioned, will be somewhere in the 12.3-ish range. So those are kind of your wind bounds. But like I said, getting closer to that 12.3 number, you're going to be a little bit long, and it's going to make it a little bit more challenging to stay out of power. It looks like you're going to need to do something to stay out of power, probably. That means that you might want to take off some of the backspin, use maybe 6 bars. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use maybe 6.5 at a bunny. So that's going to be ideal for me. So good luck with that hole, and be on the lookout for hole number 4 coming up momentarily.